In this presentation, I will tell something about distraction in traffic and how we, as the police, enforce it. Our team has developed the so-called monocam for this. More about that in a moment. Distraction in traffic is mainly about the use of mobile phones. Use of mobile phones and in general holding an electronic device suitable for communication is prohibited while driving. Here you see some figures about traffic accidents in the Netherlands in 2016. What is striking is the enormous imbalance between the accidents caused by the use of mobile phone, between 5 and 25%, and the enforcement thereof. Only 0.08% of the 9 million receipts issued in 2016 are related to the distraction for mobile phone use. If we take a conservative estimate, then at least 30 deaths, with many tens of millions in social costs suffered in 2016, were caused by distraction in traffic. The comparatively very low number of fines for mobile use is partly due to the enormous time spent by the agent to report a driver who is on a mobile phone call. The car must be pulled over, addressed to the driver, and then a fine has to be issued. The enforcement pressure is far too low. That is why the Dutch law was amended in 2019 so that these fines can be issued remotely and on license plate recognition. This opened the way for the automated detection and processing of the violation, similar to automated fines on speed driving and to a red light. On request, our team set up an experiment and developed it into a product that is currently in pilot, the monocam. We investigated several possible solutions, but ultimately the best option turned out to be to film the traffic with a high-quality camera and the driver in the video stills, find the driver in the video stills and have this image assessed by a trained neural network. The result is binary. This driver behaves according to law and this is not. You can see one of the two pilot monocams in action here. The slide shows the result of the monocam. We trained the neural network by having police officers classify photos. Of course, the legal text was taken as a starting point. The dilemma here is that it cannot be determined on the basis of a photo whether someone is calling. The law provides for this. You are not allowed to hold a device suitable for mobile communication. Only to hold it. To make this concrete, for Make the Training Set, we made criteria. Because you can also argue it was a bar of chocolate that I held to my ear, or I had a Bible in my hand. The first observation is the object sufficiently easy to perceive? This can be broken down into the following question. Can you look inside unobstructed, so no reflection in the windshield, where the telephone and the hand are? Does the observed object not appear into the background? Disappear into the background? Does it stand out sufficiently against the background? And is the resolution of the image high enough to distinguish the details? Think of details such as fingers, edges of the device, round markings of the camera, the back, manufacturer's logo or charging cable. The second observation is the perceived object an electronic tool suitable for communication? For example, does the form factor fit? Think of the length, width and thickness ratio of an electronic device suitable for communication. Do the color and reflection of the surface of the observed object match with an electronic device suitable for electronic communication? Is there a logo on the object of the manufacturer? Is it recognizable? Are the openings for a camera lens and the LED for the flash visible in the typical spot? And the volume buttons and for the charging opening? Or is a charging cable attached? This driver is holding a document in one hand and the telephone in his other hand, next to his ear. You wonder how this car can be driven. This is of course a life-threatening situation because the car is traveling at 120 km per hour on a highway. So the third observation is it handheld use? To establish that, we ask ourselves, are the fingers or the hand clasping the object? Is there enough visible of the hand and fingers? is the electronic device not in the car kit. And a body posture, calling or looking focused on an electronic device, is at itself not a criterion according to the law, so that only counts secondary. Necessary is proof of driving. Why? We do this comparing two video stills from the video, taken shortly after each other. In these video stills, we automatically draw the line on top of the car in question. So you can see the distance of the lines that the car has been moved in a few tenths of a second. The environment and therefore the other cars are perceptible just like the possible co-driver. We have blurred and blocked these things. Should you ever receive a Dutch fine on a driver distraction, you will see these two images plus the enlarged image from you holding the mobile phone. All in all, there are a number of dilemmas we have encountered when developing the monocam. The concept is based on the use of computer vision that observes people, their tools and their environment. People who have nothing to do with a possible violation are also observed and recorded. We have taken this into account by design, for example by blurring and blocking the passenger seat. We look behind the windscreen with a good quality camera and lens. We see a lot of private matters. We believe that by design we limit the infringement that is proportional. Because compared to the massive use of mobile phones while driving and the accidents suffering that it causes, we don't look at biometric features to identify an individual. The car's registration number is the identification. The license plate holder therefore is liable, regardless whether he was the offender. Training the model also gave us questions. That is why we have decided to classify all photos, more than 100,000, only by police officers, Dutch police officers. Because we have such a good view in the car, we can observe various things that can be important for detection. For example, a combination of an expensive car and a specific clothing items, such as deep cap in front of the eyes, hints on robbers. However, finding robbers is not the purpose for which this tool was created. So we destroy all data when the reports on handheld phones are forwarded by the public, forwarded to the Public Prosecution Service. That's right at the end of the measurement session. In principle, false positive results are found by the observing officer, because every photo that is passed on for a time, is first assessed by the observing officer. Only after assessment, the fine goes to the Public Prosecution Service. Finally, the person who receives the fine also has the option to appeal. We have trained with as many different situations as possible, so we are convinced that there is no bias in it. We are still thinking of a periodic 100% check on biases. But could I have trained the neural net to ignore me while holding a mobile phone? That is not the case, but there is no fundamental proof for such system behavior. The ultimate judgment of the Dutch Autoriteit Persoonsgegevens is that the use of this tool is proportional to the goal we are pursuing, namely increasing the enforcement pressure to bring a change in behavior.